Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Brandy, and I am the owner and creator of Boundless Treasures Boutique. Today, we're going to be making this super cute light up tumbler. This had a lot of learning moments, so I'm going to walk you through all of those. But it was so much fun to make, and I am so obsessed. I cannot wait to create more that are similar to this. Um, but with all of that being said, I hope you all enjoy this tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help out me and my channel. And with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing I wanted to do is I needed an extender. So I purchased these from a shop online. I'll make sure to link it below. I can't remember the name of the shop off the top of my head. Um, Here you'll see I'm using a 2 7/8. I actually ended up having to go back and re-pour this mold. So for a 20-ounce tumbler from Stainless Steel Depot, you're going to need a 3-inch mold. You can also use the strobblers to hold your twinkle lights, but this prevented any drilling in the tumbler. It was super easy to attach and it worked out beautifully. So I'm a fan of this method. Anytime I don't have to use power tools is a win for me. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mix up some regular epoxy. For this, I'm using Alumilite because it works really, really good in molds. And I'm simply going to pour it. I mixed up about 5 mLs here, and that was still too much, but I was unsure and I didn't want to come up short on my epoxy. So my thought process was better safe than sorry. I allowed the mold 24 hours to cure, and then it was good to go. I also made sure to wipe up anything that may have gone a little bit over. That way it wasn't wonky when I demolded. But this mold worked out absolutely beautiful. I did have some excess, and I am not a fan of wasting epoxy. So I poured what was left and some pretty glitter that I had had from another project, and I made some cute little coasters. So those can be used as little extras for your customers. You can sell them, um, or make use them for removable toppers. So they're super, super versatile. But just let those sit and cure, and then the next step is demolding. Now, for both of these, which I'm going to show, even though this is not a coaster mold tutorial, the demolding is super, super simple. As you can see, they come right out. It was the same for the extender. I was really, really nervous when I did this because I was like, oh man, what if it breaks? Anything like that. But it did not. This held up so beautifully, and it was just amazing. Now you can see here with it demolded, you have your ring, and then you have this little crevice in the center. That's where your twinkle lights are going to go through. So let's jump in to the fun part. Like I said, the first one I did was too small, so I had to redo another one. But once I got that done, we were ready to start prepping. So I used my hand sander and I sanded the entire surface of my 20-ounce tumbler. You do not need to have a hand sander. I just find it super easy and it makes sure that I get all of the bits. But you can use a sanding block. You can use just regular sandpaper. As long as you scuff up the surface, even final sand works really, really well. That's what you want because you want the surface to be clear of the protectants seal that's on a stainless steel tumbler so that your paint and everything has something nice to adhere to. Now, to attach the extender, I had gone back and forth on using UV resin, epoxy, the epoxy glue, and I decided to use my E6000. This worked out perfectly. It dried really, really quick, and I was ready to move on to my next step in no time. So, next step, we need to spray paint. This is going to help blend in the extender, make it all flawless, and have a base ready for our twinkle lights and a base ready for when we go into glitter. Now, let's talk twinkle lights. You guys, this was, oh my, such an adventure. What I will tell you is I learned a lot. And so I am going to teach you as I go through this. But the first bit of this is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to thread your twinkle lights through the extender and up around the cup. Now, here's the deal. Yes, definitely tape in the battery pack for your twinkle lights. Make sure that you can see that little bit of blue painter's tape. Make sure, you guys, that you don't have any painter's tape. This caused me a lot of trouble in the long run. And you'll see me here doing a couple different things. Now, this, you'll see I just kind of did like a train line for the lights. And then I was like, I'm not sure that's what I want to do. So I went to like putting dots over certain parts of the twinkle lights. Friends, please do not use just dots. This, while it was quick to let me place the twinkle lights down, caused me so much extra work in the long run. So if I could go back and I could do it all over again, I would have just kept trailing my UV resin and using my silicone stick to hold it down. And the reason for that is because there were bits of the wiring that ended up lifting, so it caused bumps, and it took a lot more epoxy than I probably would have needed had I just laid down like a strip, placed it down on the strip, and then cured it. But I didn't do that, so learn from my mistakes or learn from my learning lesson. The dots, while they may help get you through it quicker, you're just going to have to spend more time on the epoxy front. And you'll see as we go through this, the bits that just caused way, way more trouble than they probably should have. Now, the UV resin that I'm using, this one is from Counterculture. It's one of my favorites, aside from one that I purchased on Amazon. And then my little UV lamp, I got this in a quack pack from the glitter guy, like, oh my gosh, probably almost a year ago. But it does the trick. I don't need anything bigger than this, and it works out beautifully. I am sure there are other ways that you can adhere your twinkle lights. I found this to be the fastest way to do it. But if you guys have other ways, drop it in the comments. I would love to know, and I'd love to try it out because we're all here to learn and share. And so, yeah, I'd love to know if there's a different way that you adhere your twinkle lights. Let me know. Now the twinkle lights I got on Amazon. They come in a pack of like, I don't know, I want to say like 10 or 15. I'll make sure to link them in the description below. But they have just the white ones, they have multicolored ones. And so because I wanted to try all the things, I got both the clear or the white and the multicolored. So I thought the multicolored would be fun for like Christmas or like maybe a, I don't know, beach theme tiki torch party. Who knows? We'll see what I come up with. If you guys have any ideas or want to see me try the twinkle lights with a different type of design, let me know in the comments. I am absolutely up for any ideas and to try anything with these twinkle lights, because really, while I learned so much, it was so fun. And the end result for my first time, guys, I'm not mad about it. It was really cute. And my husband helped with the decals, so that has become his official cup for the summer. So from here, I'm going to test. I wanted to make sure that everything came out okay and that the lights were going to work, and then I retaped. Okay, now onto the epoxy. So you're going to mix it. I ended up mixing 40 mLs. This may have been a bit excessive, but like I said, I definitely had learning moments. There were bits of these twinkle lights that weren't flush to the cup, so they created bumps. And I really was trying to get as smooth of a surface as I possibly could with as little coats as possible. Again, couple things that I would have done different. I would have made sure that I just trailed that UV resin so that all portions of the wiring were down and sealed. And that would have reduced a lot of the number of epoxy coats. But as you can see here, all I'm doing is I'm taking the epoxy, I'm applying it like normal, and going over all of the wirings. Now, you'll see I take it down the extender, but I don't go into the bottom. I do get the underside of the ring of the extender, if that makes any kind of sense at all. I hope it does, but if it doesn't, let me know in the comments and I will try and clarify as much as I possibly can. But I'm applying my epoxy as normal. I'm going to pop my bubbles with my torch. I'll tell you, to get it somewhat level and smooth, it took about 3 coats of epoxy before I could move on to my next step. So if you guys have found like an easier way to do this or anything like that, please let me know. I would love to hear. This was just what I had found, and it worked pretty well. Again, like I said, learning moments, but definitely will do things differently in the next twinkle light. So once you get your epoxy all spread and even, here you can see me like trying to make sure like all the nooks and crannies are good. I just simply used my torch and we popped any bubbles that we may or may not see. And from there, I kept it on my turner for probably about 8 hours before I moved on to my next coats. And then same thing, I just allowed it to cure for the full cure time for the 3 separate coats. But I'm going to let this play through for you and play a little music. on to the next step. So once all of my coats of epoxy have cured, we're going to start glittering. So I am using the epoxy method for this. I mixed up equal parts of A and B, made sure it was thoroughly stirred, and then we started the glitter process. I will tell you, I almost had a heart attack, you guys. I thought I did not record this because it wasn't in here when I was editing, but I found it. Whew, I can breathe now. So we are going to use 4 colors. All of them are from Peachy Olive Glitters. We're using Netflix and Chill and Sookie for our reds. We are using Liberty, and I can't remember the other blue color, but I will make sure to link it. And then we used Boujie and Bright for our white. And we're just going to create an ombre effect between these colors. So you're going to want to start with your chunky glitters, and this you're going to use to map out your ombre. Then once you've got good coverage and mapping of your chunky, you're going to go in with your final glitters and rotate back and forth to create the blend, and you'll do this until you're happy. Now, I know I didn't go into a whole lot of detail about that ombre, but I do have videos from a while back that you can go back that definitely will give you more in depth, but wanted to keep this short because this isn't about the ombre, this is about the twinkle lights. So once we had this all glittered and I tested the lights to make sure they still shined through the glitter, we went in with 2 more coats of epoxy. So you guys, we're already on 5 coats. It's a lot. So learn from my mistakes, but you can see here, even the glitter, because I took a shortcut with my UV resin, did not cover up those wires the way I had anticipated. So don't take a shortcut, just do the UV resin. Now, from here, really, really super cool. The red and the blue are heat transfer vinyl. The blue and the silver are heat transfer. The red is just regular glitter vinyl from Tech Art Craft. But I will tell you, the heat transfer worked really great. I was pleasantly surprised. But I just went through with my little heat iron that I got from Cricut. You could probably use just a regular iron, would be just as fine. And we added those because I did not have blue and silver vinyl and I wasn't going to go buy more. But then I got it all sanded. We got the bald eagle that my husband picked out, put on, and you guys, here it is. This is the final cup. It is definitely not perfect. We learned so much, but I've got to say, I really, really love it. I'd love to know any tips and tricks if you've done this before, and I'd love to know what you think of it. But if you decide to recreate, tag me in social, and I will see you all next time.